Well, good morning, everyone. Getting started a couple minutes late this morning. Sorry about that. And we have a phone ringing. Give me just a moment, you guys. All right, there we go. Okay, so in just a moment, I'm going to share my screen. And the webinar this morning is called Empowering Employees. So really what we're talking about is giving your employees the opportunity to know what's going on. So by empowering, I mean giving them the tools to really take a really good understanding of where they stand, where their totals are, and how they can grow and things like that. And I'm just really going to give you a few tips on how you can give them the tools to do this. Okay, we'll wait just a couple more minutes to see if anyone else is going to join us this morning. All right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. It looks like we have a few joining us, and hopefully a few will join as we go along as well. I apologize, I'm a little hoarse today, so I might pause a little bit to drink some water, but hopefully it won't be too long. The webinar is not going to be too long this morning, about 30 minutes probably. And again, we're just covering empowering employees, so giving them really the opportunity to know what's going on as far as how they're performing within the salon and how they can do better going forward. Okay, so guys, just a little bit of housekeeping to begin with. So remember, your speakers must be turned on to hear this webinar. So if you can't hear me already, hopefully you figured out that the webinar has started and that you're working on turning the speakers on now. My microphone is on, you guys. Everyone else is automatically muted as you join. So please remember, if you have any questions or anything like that, to use the chat box. Also, if you have any technical difficulties or any questions, anything like that, remember chat box is down in the lower bottom portion of the GoToMeeting information. If you have any questions or would like more information, remember that you can post them to our Facebook page, so facebook.com/shortcutsusa. It doesn't look like there's any questions, so hopefully that means that everybody can hear me okay, and we're going to move on. So today, the learning objectives are to cover 5 points. The first point we're going to cover is employee performance. So the first 2 reports we're going to look at are actually reports that you can find within Shortcuts. So easy reports to pull for any given time period that you'd like to see how the employees are doing. So the employee performance report, so give your employees the power of knowing. You guys, oftentimes it's quite likely that they don't even know where they stand or how close they are to that next level. Employee ranking, so again, where do they stand within the business? Where do they fall as far as the other employees within the salon? So that employee ranking report is actually the top 10 employees, and you'd be able to see a bunch of different categories on each employee. We'll touch on Anywhere, so shortcuts at your fingertips. So are you using the Anywhere portion of our smart systems, giving the employees the opportunity to have their schedules right there on their phone or in their home computers. We'll touch on sliding commission scales and getting them to push to the next band or that next scale to get a higher percentage. And we'll talk about how that can benefit you and your employees, of course. And then upselling. So give them the opportunity to improve frequency as well as their paycheck by upselling to clients and what we need to do for that. Okay, I'm just going to pause and see if there's any questions. All right, so employee performance. So you guys, this report can be found, like I said, by going to the Tools menu and Shortcuts and going to your normal report section. And this is going to be underneath the Employee section in your report. So you can see, so do they know where they stand? So like I mentioned a few minutes ago, a lot of your employees probably don't even know what their totals are for the day, for the week, for the month until they get their paycheck. Okay, so it's quite likely that by showing them this report that you could spark some interest in, well, I could really do better in some of these categories, or I had no idea that I was selling that little retail and maybe I need to do better there. Okay, so you can see here that this actually shows your report categories. Okay, so for each employee or stylist, you'd be able to see in what category are they doing well, so where are they making most of their money, and in what categories can they maybe be able to add some upsell services or some add-on services. Okay, so you can also see that this goes in order of performance. So the employee that has done best will be on the top for the time period that you pulled this report. Okay, so you can see here client counts. Okay, and then all of the report categories, like I said. So again, you'll be able to, for each employee, take a look at this report, and keep in mind, you guys, that you can run this report for an individual employee. So if you actually wanted to use this to speak to them and show them this report, because you might actually be able to show them that they're not selling anything in conditioners, or they've only sold a few during this time period. So this person here, you can see she sold, Diane, 103 haircuts and only 4 conditioning treatments. So even though she's the top performer in this salon, it's obvious that there is room for improvement. Okay, so what areas are they strong in and which ones are they not? So that's a really great way to see. Okay, again, I sold 103 haircuts, but only 2 chemical services. Okay. Let's go a little further down and look at another employee. We can see Amber here. She sold 38 haircuts, okay, 2 conditioning treatments, and 15 color services. Okay, 1 chemical, 1 style. Okay, so what areas can we improve in? Okay, so that's just the simple employee performance summary. And just a couple of tips there on how to use this report to help your employees know where to improve. Okay, I'm just going to see if there's any questions there. Looks like everyone's okay, so we'll move on to the next. Okay, next we're going to talk about employee ranking. Okay. And you can see here that when I pull this report, the report is actually called the Top 10 Employee Report. Okay, so again, like I said, I can run this report for any time period that I'd like. And just a couple of points that I want to touch on here. This report, I used to actually post in the back of the salon, and some people would actually disagree with me on whether or not it was ethical to post other people's totals and things like that. However, I decided that that's what I wanted to do in my salon. And you guys, what this does is it really gives them some healthy competition. So you know that you have people within your business that probably think that they're either similar to someone or better than them, right? So what they're going to do by looking at this report is they might see that they're either right below that person and need to strive to be better, or right above that person and they need to sell more so that they don't catch them. Okay, so a little bit of healthy competition can be created based upon posting this report for your employees to see and reviewing this with them. Okay, so this report shows, you can see service dollars, so it will just simply tell you from 1 to 10 who is, which employees are ranked the top 10. Okay, product dollars, same thing there. Okay, and then total altogether. So meaning product and service sales, and then top 10 employees there. Okay, service dollars per hour, product dollars per hour. You guys, this is, you can see my second point here is on attainable goal setting. And sometimes when we set goals for our employees and we tell them that they need to focus on making $5,000 more in totals in the next 2 months or in the next 3 months, to them that goal might seem unattainable. It might seem like such a large number that they might be discouraged by it, and I've seen this happen. However, if I look at my service dollars per hour or product dollars per hour, or even some of these below, my average service ticket or my average product ticket, if I take a look at these particular KPIs, this is where I can give employees a little more attainable goals to strive for. Okay, so instead of saying you need to make another $5,000 in the next 3 months in your totals, I might tell them, hey, let's focus on taking our average ticket and let's raise that by $5. Or let's raise that by $10, depending on where your price point sits within your salon. Okay, so sometimes asking them to raise that total average ticket or that average service ticket or average product ticket based upon which employees you're talking to, sometimes these goals seem a little more attainable for our employees. Okay, remember guys, if you have questions, you can use the question or the chat section. It looks like I do have one question, so I'm going to take a moment to look at it. Okay, so I just had a question about this report and, what kinds of things might it cause within the salon. And Jessica, I think you probably touched on a couple of them there, where, yes, it does create some healthy competition, but for some people, like you stated, it could cause some jealousy. But to me, as long as they didn't go at each other in the salon, I felt that was healthy. I felt that it made them look at their peers and want to either do better or make sure that they didn't do better than them. So really what that did for me is it made my staff always think about where the next step was. How am I going to make that extra dollar or that make more money? All right. Okay, so you guys, the next thing we're going to talk about is the anywhere. Okay, and so it just says this slide, shortcuts at your fingertips. So you guys, basically the shortcuts anywhere is part of our smart system, and the anywhere is the opportunity for all of your staff members that are service providers to have a login that allows them to see their own schedule. So whether it's from their smartphone or from their home computer, they can log on and they can see their schedule for today. They can see their schedule for the entire week or even for the month. Okay, so this one's the day view. Okay, so you can see there's little tiles across the top that would show them day, week, and month. Okay, so here's the day view. The one in the front is the week. Okay, and the one in the middle is the month. And the month view will actually show you with a little number in the corner how many appointments I have on that day. Just a second, you guys. I have a phone ringing again. I'm sorry about that. There it goes. Okay. So you guys, another way that this can be important, and again, I always say that this can help your staff members make more money as well. Okay, so if they know their schedule and they run into somebody, one of their clients on the street, and they're like, oh, hey, Mary, how's it going? Yeah, I really need to come in and get my hair done. But, you know, I'm not sure what I'm going to schedule, and, you know, I have this going on and that going on, and I'm really busy. Well, Mary pulls out her phone as she's talking to this client and actually tells her when she has openings. Okay, that is really powerful, right? So now this client can now go on your online booking site and look for exactly the time that Mary has told her she has available and go and book her appointment. Okay, or Mary could even go book that appointment for that client if she absolutely necessarily had to, right? Okay, so this anywhere gives them the opportunity to really know, first of all, what am I booked, where are my openings, and also what days do I need to get some clients in here, what days, if I'm not busy, do I need to be planning to be out on the streets handing out referral cards or things like that. I'm just going to take a look again to see if there's any questions. Okay, looks like everyone's okay again. Okay, so that brings us to talking about sliding commission scales. And I see a lot lately as I'm setting up commissions with some of our new clients that a lot of people are doing just a flat rate. So really from zero to any dollar amount for these employees, they make 50% or they make 45%, which is quite high, you guys. Okay, so with the sliding commission scales, you can see that my first comment here is I can give myself a raise. Okay, and some of your employees will feel like that, but that's really what these sliding commission scales can do for them. Okay, so what I say is let them be in charge of their paychecks. So we always have those employees that think, well, I need to make more money, and I don't know how I'm supposed to do that without, you know, getting more clients. And well, the answer is they need to get their clients to get them more clients. Okay. So with these sliding commission scales, you can see that I set a simple one up here. 0 to 800 is 40%, and 800 to 1600 is 42.5%, and so on and so forth. So it goes up 2.5%, and it caps out at 50%. Okay, as well as the retail. The retail is on a sliding scale as well. So the more they sell, the more they make, and I think that that's important for both aspects, you guys. Okay. So let them be in charge of their own paychecks. You guys, if they know the bands of their sliding commission scale, they are absolutely in control of how much money they make and what band they reach. Okay, so if your weekend's on a Friday and I have Mary and I've given her a schedule in the morning and I know that she's at $2,000. Okay, so really she only needs to sell $400 more in services today to get to that next band. So I'm going to let her know that. I'm going to print out her schedule, and on the side of her schedule, I'm going to tell her where she's at and what her goal is. Okay, I'm going to let her determine whether or not she's going to make 45% or 47.5% on her service commission. And I'm going to do the same for her retail as well. I'm going to tell her where she stands, and I'm going to tell her how much she needs to sell to get to that next spot. Okay, push for the next level. So that's really what we're doing, you guys, is we're trying to help them push to that next band. So by giving them, again, the sliding commission scale, so the opportunity to give themselves a raise themselves, And then just really giving them the opportunity, that performance summary, to pull that information for them and let them know where they stand. I'm just going to check if there's questions. Okay, so let's see. It looks like we have a question. Again, Jessica, I'm just reading your question here. This is probably something that I'll take offline with you because it's just going a little bit of a different direction as far rather than commissions, talking about the hourly plus bonuses. So what I'll do is I'll reach out to you and we can chat a little bit about your situation here and see if we can't. I can't answer that question for you. Yeah, no worries. All right. And then the very last one we're going to talk about today, you guys, is upselling. Okay, so this is going back to that employee performance summary that we were talking about to begin with, and talking about, okay, so Diane sold 100 plus haircuts, but only sold 4 conditioning treatments. Okay, so add-on services. So this is seeing what my clients are booked for and asking them if they'd simply like another service. Not all of them are going to say yes, but some of them are. And the issue that we run into is not that so many clients say no, it's that so many of our staff members aren't asking. Okay, so add-on services. So if they're booked for a haircut, let's ask them if they'd like a conditioning treatment, or let's ask them if they'd like it's summertime, let me ask them if they'd like a few foils run through the top, just to give it a little bit of highlight. Okay, so that's one of the easiest ways for upselling, right, is just simply saying, oh, let's go ahead and give you a nice conditioning treatment before we cut your hair today. It's going to look beautiful when we blow dry it. Okay, prescribing home care necessities. You guys, I listed prescribing and home care necessities. This is for retail products, right? Okay, but necessities meaning that it is necessary for each client to have shampoo and conditioner, correct? So even if they don't buy it from you, they're going to buy it somewhere. Okay, and by you prescribing this as their service provider and as their home care specialist, it's important that you tell them what it is that you use and what it is that they need to use at home in order to create this same look. Because there's no use in you blow drying their hair into this beautiful, look and then having them go home and having no way to recreate this. Okay, so you guys, it's very important that you offer clients the opportunity to purchase products from you. And if you don't, you're often probably creating a situation where these clients either don't come back because, again, they can't create that same look at home, or they come back less often, okay, because they're not super excited about getting their hair cut because, again, they never replicated it. Okay, and you guys, increasing visits and purchases. Okay, so if I add on a service and it's highlights, and she actually decides that she loves those highlights, now she needs to come back more frequently to get them redone. Okay, also, the retail items. So if they purchase these from us, they need to come back maybe before they need their hair done to get their products, so maybe they just looked at it anyway. Okay, so upselling, doing these kinds of things and adding on conditioning treatments and these home care products, these are the types of things that increase visits with our clients and ultimately increase purchases. So again, what does that do? It makes more money for your employees as well as more money for your business. So I'm just going to check again if we have any questions there. Looks like everybody's all right. So guys, those are the 5 tips that I have to cover with you today. So the 5 tools to empower your employees that I shared with you today are the Employee Performance Report, which again can be found in your tools reports under employees, which is the same place as where your employee ranking report will be held. Okay, that top 10 employee report. The Shortcuts Anywhere. So you guys, again, this is part of your SMART system. So if you have SMART and you're not utilizing Anywhere, go ahead and contact the education department and we'll get you set up to use Anywhere. We'll help you get that all set up. The sliding commission scales. So if you're at a position where you're using a flat rate, let's talk about introducing some of these sliding scales within the blog. And then upselling. So how can we help our clients as well as help ourselves? So offer those extra services that might help to, brighten up the hair around their face and open up their face, or offer that conditioning treatment that's just going to make their hair shine beautifully in the summer sun, right? Whatever it is that you think, right, not offering them things that they don't need, but using your professional opinion to offer them things that they do need and that will benefit them. Okay. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Our next webinar is going to be on updates to the SMART products and the Shortcuts online console. So that's actually going to be next week on Tuesday, August 13th at the same time. So you guys, if you do have SMART, and or actually if you don't have SMART also, come and take a look at what some of the new features and some of the new settings that we've introduced into the console. So that's, again, Tuesday the 13th at 9 a.m. same time, and your host will be Meg next week. Remember that you guys can contact me, and like I said, Jessica, I will be in contact with you to see if we can discuss that question that you had. Here's my email address, so angel@shortcuts.net. And again, remember that you can post questions to our Facebook page, and then we'll get back to us as well. You guys, if you're interested in, if you don't have SMART and you need to get Anywhere, you can also contact our business development team. So that's that phone number there, the 714-622-6600. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes to see if there's any more questions. And then remember as well, you guys, that again, you can send them through to my email or again, straight through to the Facebook page, and they'll get to me that way as well. All right, well, looks like everyone's okay today. Okay, so you guys, if you do have any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and close up the webinar now, but if you do have any more questions, again, email me or put them on the Facebook page and we'll get back to you. Thank you guys so much for joining today, and we hope you can join us next week on Tuesday with Meg.